the Xchange. Listen, you have to find what sparks a light in you so that you, in your own way, can illuminate the world. Today we're going to talk about what lights you up. But before we get into it, let's introduce the ladies. Ladies.
Donna Hutchinson.
Carolyn Poiker.
Denise Cavalier.
So today we're talking about what lights you up. So what is keeping people, human beings, from being lit up? I mean, the world is gone. We have this happening over here, this happening over here. What could possibly be keeping people from getting lit up?
Everybody's so busy, and we all glorify busy in this world, right? So we make it so ourselves are put last and all the obligations are put first. So when we prioritize the busyness and the stuff, I think it leaves less room for us to discover what lights us up. So I feel like for me that's a big issue.
I believe that. That's so true.
Oh, absolutely. I was thinking, for most people, right, life feels like drudgery, and it's like, ugh, so you don't have the space for it, you know. You have to do some thinking and cut things out and know what's, working and what's not.
Yeah, I really like what Donna said about, sort of reverse priorities rather than prioritizing what does light us up and trusting that we'll be okay on the whatever financial end or whatever. We tend to reverse it in the world today. Yep.
But I like what she said, we're so busy. Busy is a badge. If you're not busy, something's wrong with you. You need to hustle and grind and get the bag and all the stuff the young people say. And then there's no room to be lit up because everybody's trying to think, how can I make money? How can I do this? How can I get this paper? But you have to step aside, like you said, and take time to find out what lights you up. Do you guys believe that creating life from the inside out is difficult? Do you think that's what's going on here?
I mean, that's a priority for me, so I really try to live from that space, so I don't struggle with it as much at this point. I'm sure I have at some point, but at this point, that's a real priority for me. So
creating life from the inside out.
Yeah, man, bringing the light forward.
How about you guys?
I think the last maybe 3 years, the pandemic was 3 years, so maybe 4 years. I've been really working on it, and I think I'm much better at it. I know how to say no. I know how to, even when I get questions of what do you mean you're giving that up? Well, you know what? It's not working for me anymore. I'm giving it up. So then you have space. But it's not easy necessarily to find what really lights you up because there's a lot of shoulds, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of shoulds still kind of play in your head.
I think some of it, too, is in our definition of success. Like, how do we view ourselves as successful and maybe even happy? Like, what does happiness look like? What does it mean? Is it about money and material possessions? Is it about how I feel and sort of redefining? But there definitely is a different feeling in material things and things that light us up. So I think there's I don't think you can compare the two. But
there is definitely a difference, and it does come from the inside out. And I'm going to go back to what you say, like saying no to things and prioritizing yourself. That's where we need to be, but no one's there. But it's so funny. I had to say no. I wanted to say no. Somebody asked me to do something. It took me 3 hours to say no, and I had to Google how to say no.
Oh, wow.
I was just like, oh my gosh, how do I say no? So I Googled how to say no, and I saw a good one, and so that's what I put, and then it was like, okay, they didn't respond back to me, they just accepted it. So sometimes you have to just say, I'm going to say no. I'm going to put myself first and do something that makes me happy. So I want to ask you, lady, what makes you truly happy? What lights up your whole being? What sets you on fire?
It's funny, I've been reflecting on this a lot because that answer is changing, and I think a lot of my realization is that I have not felt lit up for a while because I've been saying yes to a lot of things that should have been no's. So as I'm starting to realize, what is done and now really lit up by, and I think Anytime I share and I trust my instincts and kind of go from intuition and sort of move from that space. I was always very proud when I taught yoga that I never prepared classes and always kind of taught from a intuitive space. So trusting myself lights me up, and sharing what is coming to me, and doing holidays light me up for sure. So yeah, so we got one really like woo answer, and Christmas really lights me up too, and the fall that is upon us. So yeah, trying to be present too makes me lit up. So I'm trying to also not project too far into the future. So yeah.
That's funny.
I just want to say I took Donna's yoga classes many years ago, and she was fabulous.
Thank you.
And they were always really crowded because everybody agreed.
Thank you.
For me, I think it's like a lot of different. I think it changes, seasons of life and that. But I think right now, and I don't know, I feel kind of even silly saying this, but it's true. When I see fireflies and bees and
Yay.
butterflies happy in my garden, I can't stop smiling. I can't stop sitting out there. I sat out there one time for an hour watching the monarchs on the milkweed, and I don't know. I'm passionate about it.
Simplicity.
Fireflies, and what's the other
Bees
thing?
and butterflies.
Bees and butterflies. That's nice.
That's a good combination there. Yeah.
What lights you
sounds
up, Denise?
peaceful.
Yeah.
Yikes, there's a lot of things, but I think the fact that I got to sit here and ruminate over this, it means I'm not doing enough of those things. But the beach, being at the beach really lights me up. Being up in Vermont and hiking in the mountains really lights me up. Being outdoors, I like to be outdoors. Puppies light me up. Really good people, like feeling connected to people really lights me up. Seeing my kids do well really lights me up.
Well,
So yeah, I wish I would do more in artistic things, creating things. That really lights me up. And I'm not doing enough of any of that stuff right now, so.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, but at least you have a lot of it.
Well, I got
Yeah.
a list now.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so funny. I had to think about what lights me up, and immediately, as I was biting into this bagel and egg sandwich, I was like, food lights me up. I love food. Oh, that's one of my passions, right? And then walking my dog and my son, I'm an empty nester, so my son pulls around the corner and I see his face. He sees my face and he has the big smile and I have the big smile. Oh my God, my whole soul lights up. I'm like, hey, baby. Hey, Mom, how you doing? Good. I'll see you inside. And I'm like, come on, dog. Hurry up, do what you have to do. That lights me up. What else lights me up? When my husband come home from work, that lights me up. See, those little things. But I want some big things to light me up because I think I'm going away like somewhere far, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's hot or whatever it is. So I want those kind of things to light me up. So how can you make space to do some of those things daily? Because talking to you have a whole list. But how can you make space to do those things?
I think it's trust. I think it's all about trust because a lot of the things that I tend to do or when I veer off from things that really light me up is I'm fearful about something. I'm fearful about money, not having enough money, so I gotta do this and chain myself down. So I think it's a trusting the process, and that if you're living your reality, your true self, I think you'll go in the right direction. So it's all about trust, letting go, trusting that things will be good.
I like that.
Yeah.
Carolyn, what do you think?
Well, I agree with you, by the way. I wrote a list of what lit me up, so I only shared the first one. When my kids smile, I wrote that as one of mine, so I agree with you. What was the question? What do I think about?
How can you make space?
How to make space? Well, again, I did this training years ago, I think 6 years ago at this point, and it started this process of really looking at how I was spending my time, what I was doing. And it literally took me years of evaluating because I think I had the shoulds. Oh, you should still do that. But you have to. You have to go through and look at what you're doing. How are you spending your time? And find the things that are not working and get rid of them. And then the things that light you up will eventually come through.
I just got an explosive epiphany is prioritizing yourself. Prioritizing yourself. Right? Instead of I put everything else ahead of I got to do all this or take care of this person. but prioritizing yourself is huge.
Yeah.
Like
that's
I
a
matter.
huge
The
thing.
fact that I'm happy or not happy matters.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does matter, right, Donna? How do you
Absolutely.
make space to do what makes you happy, what lights you up?
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback a little bit on what Carolyn said. Traveling certainly lights me up, and at the beginning of this year I was feeling dull a little bit, and I was like, one morning I woke up and I was like, I'm going to book a trip, but the fear will stop you because of the money.
Yeah.
And my intuition came clear as a bell, was like, it's not the trip. Because the truth was I wasn't making the space daily for pulling myself out of dullness, and it was being like, okay, it's not the big thing. It's the little thing. It's the monarch. It's the dragonfly. It's all of those things. And the more you create space to just be still with those things that we call small, and realize those are as magical as the trip I did book for the end of this year. But you know what I mean? Like, they're both equal. And the more I feel into simplicity and you're able to experience that daily, the more magical those things become. So they're never small. Those things are huge.
And the trip is so short, right? You go and then you're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I want to go on a trip. I feel a little bit lit up when I'm there, but it's the whole process. What is up with that? Is that something that stops a lot of people too from getting lit up? Because you see all the beautiful places you want to go, but it's just the process. So let's talk about the process of being lit up. Is that difficult?
To do, if there's a process to get to that thing. Yeah, that probably stops a lot of people. That
Yeah.
probably causes a lot of anxiety. Even with this trip that I'm excited about, as soon as we booked it, I started to get into the real nut of what needed to go on. And I had to say to myself, here, 1, 2, 3. These are the things you need to focus on, and that'll be okay, and that's done, and then you can move forward. But I think there is a little bit of a process to getting ourselves started into those things, even creating. You know, sometimes that can even be a process to be like, okay, I'm going to sit, I'm going to give myself space, and those things can be daunting sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
It's a whole process, people. Listen, when was the last time that you were lit up? When was the last time something made you smile so big you couldn't even contain it? And what brings you joy? What brings joy to your soul? Tell us. Put it in the comments somewhere. We're everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever. Put it in the comment and let us know what lights you up, because we're going to get back to you, aren't we, ladies? We're going to answer you, and we're going to say what lights us up too. So we talked about that a little bit, right? So do you think that it is possible to be lit up every single day? Do you think that's possible, Carolyn? Can you be lit up every day?
I think so. I mean, I'm not, but I think you could. I think you could get there. I think you could get there.
Why are you not lit up every day?
Because there's still a lot of things, that I'm working through, and things that, like, there's a lot of transition in my life. And so those are a lot of opportunities for letting go and things like that are hard for me. So I think that can weigh you down, But I think I'll go with I'm lit up a couple times a week, and I'm not going to say that.
That's a win.
That's a win.
That's it.
That's a win. How about you, Denise?
I'd like to set that as an intention for sure, to be lit up every day, because I think some of it is about changing your thinking, the way you're looking at things. So I would like to set that as an intention. I don't think I'm lit up every day, maybe at certain points in every day. But I think I'll set that as my intention.
Get lit up every day.
Yes.
How about you, Donna?
I think the simpler, less pressure, more peaceful I've approached life, the easier it is to get lit up. When we are overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, and all of the things, it's much harder to make space for those things. But once you kind of let the backpack off and you sort of create space within yourself, I think it's much easier. Because then you're lit up by everything.
Yeah.
Or not everything, but you know what I mean? Everything could be magical.
Is it bad to be lit up by everything, though?
Why?
No, I'm asking.
Oh, why would you ask the question? I don't think so.
No.
Who cares?
Just be happy.
Just be happy.
Just be happy, right?
Yeah.
It's a whole process. Be happy. And little things like looking at a bumblebee, sniffing a flower, that lights Carolyn up. She likes it. It's little things. You don't have to have the big things. You don't have to have the travel. Oh, I'm going abroad. I mean, that lights a lot of people up, but you don't, there are little things right in your backyard that can light you up. So, do you think being a planner or lack of money, or I have here your pets, your kids, does that stop a lot of people? You talked about it earlier, fear of like the unknown or fear of not having enough. Do you think that's a problem with being lit up?
I definitely have issues with maybe not going in a direction where I'd be more lit up more of the time, especially in the area of career. I think I tend to go with what I know will make me money to survive, but I just know that that's wrong. There's something in my intuition that says this is wrong. Time is short, and so I definitely struggle with that.
Carolyn is so thoughtful.
I'm in this like interesting space where I was away for 5 days. I was home for about a week and I was away for 5 days. And both of those trips, even though, packing and getting there and all that was annoying, they were like amazing. And I really did feel so good, on both of them. I made like potatoes on the grill one night and like that lit me up. They were delicious. Everybody loved them. But so it is little things. But there's so much transition and there's all this stuff I'm searching for, which I do think kind of can like just really, it's not even a weight. It's like crushing you down. So it can be hard, but you have to still, I think for me, maybe that's why, just sitting in the garden is enough because there's, I feel like I'm rambling. I'm sorry, I'm hot.
It's okay. It's
a little warm in here today.
You're not. But I love the gym. That lights me up. And I go about, 6 days a week? 6 days a week. I had 2 days off. And every time I go there, I'm just like, just bubbly and just like I'm not working hard. It's just like, so that's something that lights me up. Even those little things. Walking. I know it's hot out. It's summertime here in New Jersey. Like we're talking to international folks, summertime in New Jersey, so it's hot, but if you go for a nice evening walk or even a bike ride or take the kids out, that's stuff that really lights you up, and makes you feel good inside. Let's tell the folks 6 ways to help you discover what lights you up. Make a list, Donna. Give us 2 or 3, 2, 4, 6. 6 ways to light somebody up.
What sparks joy in you? I've heard this term glimmers, and I so resonate with that because that's those little sparkles within you that you're just feeling like you're doing what you're meant to do, or you're doing what makes you happy. It doesn't even have to be tied to purpose, but just really, and acknowledging too. I'll say there have been many times in my life where I prayed for satisfaction, prayed for peace, prayed for whatever, and it was like today. You could feel all of that today. It has nothing to do with how much money or what job or whatever. There's plenty of things to be happy for today. So can we start to see those things? Because I would fight with God. I'd be like, no, there's not. There is not today. But at the end of the day, I was like, you're right. Okay. There was something to be happy about now, not when I am a millionaire, there's always something.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think, prioritizing yourself again is a way to get in touch with that, and also paying attention to when you smile.
Oh, that's what I just wrote down.
Yeah, when you just feel that smile come up, like you're just feeling it.
You're being lit up. You're being lit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, review your week. Think about, or a month, whatever you want, and think about when you felt peaceful, when you were smiling, when you were looking forward to doing something. I think it's also important to try new things.
Yeah.
And not like with, what's the word? Like, not with this huge expectation. Just try some new things. And if it's lights you up, it does. If it doesn't, maybe you learn something and you learn that's not something
that lights you up.
You have to explore a little. Be open.
Yep, you have to explore, be open. I have here, what energizes you? What makes you feel like, I could do this again? I've ever see a skydiver, they're like, screaming, and they plunge and they're down, and then they were like, I gotta do that again. Like, what energizes you? What's been on your mind? Like, what's been on your mind, Donna? Like, to that you want to light you up. What's been on your mind? Like, I'm thinking, this is an example. So I want to go somewhere. And that's what's on my mind.
Okay. Yeah, well, I have the trip planned, so I'm very excited. That's lighting me up entirely. I'm about to finish a 20-week self-development program that I did, so
Nice.
the completion of that is exciting. And swimming in the ocean, we talked about that off camera, but that we just did that this weekend, and I'm planning on doing that a few more times this summer. That is peace in the home. So, yeah, that's definitely lighting. That's definitely a light.
Yep.
So I went to see sunrise on Sunday at the beach, and I was driving there, and I had this like really stupid, I shouldn't say stupid, I had a thought that like I was like shouldn't be driving there and like polluting the air with my car. And I was like, and I got there and I was like 3 hours of just I just love it so much. And so I don't know, I was like limiting myself. It was really, really silly. Really
So
silly.
that's on your mind. You got to do that again.
Oh yeah, I usually do sunrise at the beach 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and hopefully that stupid thought about
Polluting the air. Listen, I got to get there unless you're going to ride your bike, right?
I think it's worth noting too, because I think we all sort of touched on that. There always can be an excuse to why not to do something, even if it's something we're excited about, which always shocks me. That I'm like, I want to do this. Why am I holding myself back?
Yeah.
Recognize there is always a little voice that wants to keep you from doing the things, and just do it anyway. Tell the voice to sit down today. We're good.
I'm glad you said that because I had forgotten the thought I had that we always think, no, I don't have enough. I don't want to do this. This is going to be too much. But if you put it in motion, right? If you say, I'm going to do it, I'm going to get out there, I'm going to travel, I'm going to do this, it always does. Do you find that
Yes,
it works out?
Always.
It works out. You're like, oh man, why didn't I think of this before, you know? So, yeah. Just go ahead and do it. I know you're like, oh, I don't have the money. You guys are talking like people have money to do this and that. But you know what? That's a part of fear. I think that's a part of your fear holding you back. Do you think that? Or do you think just like we just don't have it?
Oh, it's probably a little bit of both. But I mean, sunrise at the beach is free, except for the gas to get you there.
Yeah.
A sunrise in your backyard is free.
Yeah.
You know,
So
it's always
true.
available.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So there are things you can do that's right there. Doesn't cost anything. I was driving here and I see a whole trail, Lawrenceville Trail. That trail is forever long, you know, forever long. And you could walk that early in the morning or whenever, and I bet you'll find some peace on that trail and your soul will be lit up. So there are things you don't need money to do, and there are some things you need money to do. But if you really have a little bit of faith, 9 out of 10 times it'll probably work out.
You're
right?
always supported. Always. We don't want to think that because we get scared, but you are.
Yeah. It's a lot. So things like that light you up. So tomorrow, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? How are you gonna examine it? What are you gonna look at to light yourself up? It's Friday. So what are you gonna do?
I don't know. I think I'm going to get in touch with, maybe work on a practice in the morning, just really being in touch with myself and maybe
What does that look
prioritizing that
like?
thought.
What does that look like?
Just taking a few minutes before I get out of bed, before I'm looking at my phone or checking my emails or looking at my texts and just looking at, what would it look like to feel lit up today? How can I, and working that into sort of my practice. And tomorrow I'll pull out my kayaks and load them on top. I don't know how the weather is this
It's gonna
weekend.
be hot.
No.
It's
Saturday,
hot
Sunday.
here in New Jersey.
Saturday, Sunday's going to be okay. Tomorrow, don't go kayaking.
Yeah.
No, I think
Saturday.
I'll wait till Saturday.
Yeah.
I'll
I'm going
think
to
about
join you.
tomorrow morning. I'll think about what I'm going to do on Saturday to light myself up.
Okay. What are you gonna do to light yourself up?
So I, for a long time, wanted to have kayaks because when we would go to Lake George, we would kayak, and it was just so great. And it became this like joke whenever I saw kayaks in somebody else's car. Like, why do they have kayaks and I don't have kayaks? And certainly I could, but anyway, I'll just come borrow yours.
Yes, you
What
can.
am I going to do? I am going to go to the beach again this weekend to light myself up. I am helping one of my kids who wants to buy a used car, which has been a weird but kind of fun experience, a little anxiety producing and all of that too. So it's been fun to kind of do that with him, and
That's what lights you up.
that's what I'm going to do.
Tomorrow I teach yoga to the memory care patients that I work with, and that always is a little glimmer of, you just get happy with that. And then I'm going to be real present when I leave work. and be aware that I'm leaving work and I'm going to enjoy the weekend and it's going to be really nice, and I'm going to go from my air-conditioned work to my air-conditioned car to my air-conditioned house and take care of myself and stay out of the heat. And that's going to make me happy because I'm taking care of myself in this weather at this moment.
You look lit. She looks lit up
right now.
Right?
Lit
See
right
how
now.
happy I am
Yeah.
at those thoughts? Yes.
So let me tell you, this show has helped me tremendously because how about I haven't booked anything for my 23rd anniversary. So I'm like, every day I'm like, the process is just trying to take me out. But this show has helped me so much, so I'm going to put this fear to the side. I'm going to put anxiety to the side. I'm going to put whatever else is holding me hostage to the side, and I'm going home today. And you ladies hold me accountable. Text me and say, did you book your trip yet? And I'm going to book a trip, and I'm going to just do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to be like, I'm going somewhere. I'm going.
Because you deserve it.
somewhere that lights you
Service.
up.
23 years. I'm going to be lit up.
Yes,
right.
Lit.
You both-
23 years, you deserve it.
23 years has me lit, but you know, I want to be more litted.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
That it is
I want to
today.
be litty.
That's right. And you're gonna light up your husband,
Yeah.
whatever that means.
And he will light you up.
I don't know why I'm laughing this much. Okay, let's bring it back.
Comedy is a good
Yes.
good levity too. So here we are.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We hope you're enjoying this, okay? So the things you are passionate about are not random. They are your calling. They're calling. And let what lights you up light your way. So do you think what lights you up can light your way?
Yes.
It'll make room for other people to be lit up too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I think the more authentically you and you own what lights you up, no matter how weird you think it is, the more you allow others to be lit up by whatever they think is weird and whatever that is. And isn't that a great thing?
Yeah.
Just be happy.
Just be happy, and that's why we're here. We're here to let you know that you could be your most authentic self. You could be happy. You could laugh. You could just be whatever you want to be. We're here to inspire you, to motivate you, to lift you up, to affirm you, right? To make you feel real good and to love on you. That's all we're here for, right? Do you think you guys are doing a great job?
Yeah, we are. We're
Yes.
lit. We're lit.
We're litty. And listen, we wear our hearts on our sleeve. We're being honest with you. We're telling you just who we are, how we feel, and how we do it. So we're hoping you're enjoying this show, The Exchange. And like I said earlier, tell your friends to tell your friends to tell their friends, and join our Facebook group, The Exchange Facebook group. We'll welcome you with a big hug and thank you. And also watch us on Vimeo. Watch us on CNJN Facebook page. We're on CNJN YouTube page. We're on LinkedIn. We're on everywhere. YouTube, Let Me Be Me YouTube page. Look us up. You will find us. And remember, figure out what your passion is. Take a random step. Go somewhere. Go zip line and do something you never did before and see if that lights you up, and have fun. Laugh a lot. Be happy. Enjoy life because it's only one. You only get one.
That's right.
All right. And thank you so much for watching. I'm with,
Donna Hutchinson.
Carolyn Poiker.
Denise Cavalier.
and I am Dr. Joan Coleman. My IG is Let Me Be Me and Jay. And this is The Exchange. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.